I suppose that's a good point to discuss Pellegrino Matarazzo, who has probably the best name in the Bundesliga for managers. But he's from the US, but he's been in Germany for the past 21 years. An ex-Hoffenheim assistant, but very much has an extensive background in youth coaching. He's worked at Nuremberg and Hoffenheim in sort of under 17 and under 19 capacities. Coming into this senior job with Stuttgart, we've just discussed the history of the club, but this is quite a big job, to be taking on. Given that the likelihood was when he took it on, he probably wasn't going to be in it for longer than 18 months. And, now he's coming up to that 18 months period, and the team are really playing some good football. They're pretty much solid, stable in the Bundesliga. Certainly from a financial perspective, they will have assets which, probably will leave, but that will leave them in a healthier financial situation. There seems to be, as you mentioned just then, a little bit of continuity there. But with Matarazzo, what is his tactically? If you're watching a Stuttgart team, how would you describe their style of play under Matarazzo? And is that a direct result of his style, his philosophy, or is this something coming from higher up?
I think it's both. I think this Stuttgart team firstly plays Pellegrino Matarazzo's football and the way he wants them to play. I also think that that's why they hired him, and that they want the club to sort of identify as a team that plays this sort of football now. I think it's absolutely incredible when you look back and think The Athletic recently did an article about Ralf Rangnick and all of his impact across football, but across in particular football in German-speaking countries, and all of the work he's done with obviously the Red Bull teams, but also before with Hoffenheim or with Stuttgart, like you mentioned yourself. It's where Thomas Tuchel cut his teeth under Rangnick as a youth team coach. We've got, again, with Matarazzo, a guy that was working with Julian Nagelsmann at Hoffenheim, who was schooled in this same sort of Rangnick idea of playing football. And it's high pressure, it's aggression, it's really making the most of the other team's weaknesses, it's playing at full throttle and attacking directly and at pace. And it's just not an accident that this is seen throughout the Bundesliga. And to do it successfully is, a big step towards being a good Bundesliga team, because everybody, or I would say the majority of teams in the league, play with this sort of identity and this sort of approach on the pitch. Matarazzo and Stuttgart are no different now. And it really is no coincidence, like I say, when you look at the way Stuttgart play, and then you realize that he worked as an assistant with Julian Nagelsmann at Hoffenheim. They play sort of a back three, but it is sort of more of a back four, and they have players who hold extreme width on the pitch, but then they try and punch the ball through the middle of the pitch and play that way, with overloads in the middle and outnumbering the opposition through the centre while pinning them out wide. It has all the hallmarks really of a good Nagelsmann team, or any of those sort of coaches that come from that school of thinking in Germany. And you can tell that Matarazzo is the first born American, to coach in the Bundesliga. It's just not a coincidence at all that he's there and they're playing this extremely German football. And it's this football that you'd probably say, you'd look at it and say it's, yeah, like the Red Bull teams. Marco Rosa is at Gladbach now after managing Red Bull Salzburg, and Jesse Marsch at Salzburg is continuing the same style of football as well. It's sort of the dominant style in German football, and Matarazzo clearly is a pupil of that same school.